This is the Chinese student who acted like a security and dragged away a Taiwanese-American protester at a recent speech by Chinese Ambassador Zhang. We had previously covered this, but now more details suggest he has extensive power connections in China. Harvard should really look into why they're letting a CCP nepo kid act that way in America. Welcome to China Insider, I'm Dave Zhang. Nepotism with communist characteristics. CCP officials sending their beloved child overseas to get educated at Ivy League and British institutions, just so that they can go home, succeed their parents' CCP position, and continue the long line of family corruption running the party. And that's precisely the case with the recent Harvard protest against Chinese Ambassador Zhang. A brave Taiwanese-American girl, Kasit Wu, was dragged out by this guy. Not only does this guy not have any law enforcement jurisdiction, he's also there to just act so quickly to remove her. Where exactly is Newton Lungs? Don't touch her when you need it. His name is Zhou Hongji, or Zachary Zhou, and 2023 was his first year at Harvard, and he's already operating on campus as a middleman for bridging the US-China relationship, becoming an organizer for the speech as well as for different events. He's also in a student group called CSSA, which is a CCP-funded student group across all colleges in America and Canada, maybe even beyond. Zach's parents are CCP officials. His father is revealed to be a city party official in the province of Hainan and the city party school director. His mother works in the organization department of the Chinese Communist Party, basically party human resource. Photos from Zhou's undergrad show that his mother is in the photo, which confirms the identity of them. Now, they actually own 5 luxury homes in China. 4 of them are in Beijing, 1 in the northeastern part of China. So to own any sort of home in Beijing means you're already pretty well off, but to own them at specific locations as Zhou owns, well, that means you're not far from power. They're in locations where every square foot costs a fortune. Zhou also has a twin brother who currently studies at Columbia, and he is a graduate student at Harvard. Zhou got his bachelor from Duke Kunshan University in China, which was established in 2018 by a joint venture between Duke University and Wuhan University. He's been able to participate in multiple international events, including for the UN, and as well as alongside Eileen Gu, the American-turned-Chinese nationalist athlete. During his time at Duke Kunshan for his undergrad, he was involved in what's something called the Global Citizen Education Program, or GCED. And he was also chosen as a Millennium Fellow by the UN in 2022. Now, of course, there's no way for such a student gaining access without the clear agenda to do so, to create this idea that he is really successful and he deserves to go to Harvard. Before we continue, let me introduce to you a great product to boost your daily alertness. This is the Gen X Red Ginseng Extract made in Canada. The product has helped me immensely, as the immediate effects for me has been less yawning, more alertness throughout the day. It's very easy to drink. I mix about 2 to 3 drops with water and a bit of honey. Or if I'm on the go, I just drop it on my tongue and drink some water after. My friends using it say that they notice that they're less tired throughout the day, especially in the morning. And for anybody that's not a morning person, this may be a great alternative to a second or third cup of coffee. So check out the link in the description and check out the product. So let's talk about why I think this is very fishy. You could say that maybe he's really talented and he participated in all these events, but that's China we're talking about. And if you take a closer look, you will find the answer to that exact question. What's more intriguing is that Duke Kunshan University specifically mentioned in this article saying that, quote, Zhou Hongyi focuses on introducing third-party private forces to solve public problems. After research, he found that local governments faced great financial pressure in implementing GCED in the public education system. Therefore, he hopes to build a bridge between third-party social forces and the government and solve this economic problem by establishing a market-based social influence monetization mechanism. A lot of word salad, but the question is, how would a 20-something-year-old become the bridge between the private force and the public sector in China, unless he has political backing from his family? And not only that, but Zhou Hongyi and his twin brothers allegedly also discussed the allocation and attraction of funds. In other words, only these 2 brothers, not only can they control where funds are coming from, they can also allocate it how they want it to be. And so they basically directly participated in the entire process for this project. Sounds so grand and righteous. Well, basically it's another way of saying that this was a power money transaction. 2 undergraduate students having the ability to attract foreign investments, funds allocation, connection to bridge gaps. Wow, it's a task that even established business people probably wouldn't be able to do across multiple different sectors. Zhou and his twin brothers are classic examples of second generations of CCP officials, from the infamous red Ferrari son of Bo Xilai to Xi Jinping's own daughter, who also attended Harvard and loves Rolls-Royce, to now the Zhou twins. They rely on the access to the CCP to gain resources to get ahead of others, and then they're sent overseas to further their studies so that they can gain so-called prestige in education, all the while accumulating their family's wealth overseas and establishing a base outside of China. And then after they're gilded, they return to China to take over their parents' duties. At the same time, develop the hereditary power in China and the hereditary wealth overseas. The CCP uses these ideas of capitalism, I call it the nutrition of capitalism, to fuel and strengthen their corrupt socialist body. And that's why recently there was the news about the US State Department and DNI writing a report on CCP officials' corruption overseas. It's so important because there's so much of it. Because this is a clear example of how Chinese regime and their goons basically operate. And more of that is still in the dark. So Zhou, while he may have become a symbol of transnational repression in the eyes of Western perspective, well, in reality, when he goes back to China, the very action of dragging that girl may become the token to power. And that's a future wolf warrior in the making. Because the secret to getting promoted in the CCP is very simple. Be violent, be cruel, be decisive in carrying out the orders from above. Any official who understands the rule of this game, they will deliberately create opportunities for them to show off or to act evil. And they will be scolded by public opinion, but underneath within the party, well, they're actually praised for it. Zhou Hongji's unusually quick reaction to censoring the protester is bound to win the favors of the Red family. Now, speaking to a similar scenario, recently another Chinese student named Xiaolei Wu, who used to study at Berkeley College of Music, threatened to chop off the hands of a person who posted a flyer on campus advocating for democracy in China and threatened to report the person's family to Chinese authorities. He just got 9 months of jail time, and he will be deported back to China after that. Now, in a similar fashion, will the action of Xiaolei Wu be rewarded when he is back in China? Of course, it's a warning to all CCP thugs overseas and even international students that doing the bidding of the CCP, they will be met with punishment by law. But it doesn't mean that they will stop because they know that there's a ticket to power and officialdom back in China. We know that the CCP is towards its end time, but these people, they're still not able to get themselves out of this thirst for power, and they want to continue to enjoy the downfall of the party and to basically crash and burn with them. Well, there's nothing else we can say about that. CCP officials, they're desperate to send their kids to democratic countries. However, as these many cases we've seen so far, some of these people, they carry with them the authoritarian values while they're still enjoying the freedom that's been offered by the country that they're in. And so this poses a significant threat to the democratic principles of that country. So it's really up to the college campuses to uphold the basic values of democracy and humanity and really look to find out why students like them are still allowed to study at Harvard or anywhere else. All right, that's it today for the episode on some of the background details, how the person who dragged away the protester has extensive CCP connection and they're likely to be rewarded for their action instead of being punished. If you enjoy the content, leave a like, comment below your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye-bye.